All right. Shalom, shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Deborah platform with another message. I will say this is a lovely, lovely evening in which the Most High, a higher has made. And I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. Just come in with a little something, something. I call it a time. It's time to talk. Time to talk. And Sister Deborah is going to come with a message, and it's going to be over here and over there, a little up, a little down. And I'm going to also round it off with the power of who my Father is. And the reason why I want to cover power, pretty much, I want to stick with that always, all this year, because that is what is being denied. And even though it's being denied, even though it's over, it's finished, yet no, everything you see is going on, it's that right hand power. Still over it all. You see? So it ain't something we can just kick to the side like we have in time past, even in this day and time. We want to accept him without his power. We want to call on his name without his power. I hear so many people talking about Jesus, 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 in the name of Jesus, 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 in the name of Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. They are so out of whack to where they don't know their left hand from their right hand. Because honestly, they'll never know. Because of the fact that the power has fully been denied thousands of years ago, even to today. Okay, greater today have the power uh, uh, been forsaken than even yesterday. The power today has been forsaken greater than yesterday in time past, in the biblical, versus in this day and time. In our forefathers' time, the power is just been forsaken on every side. The reason why I, as a prophetess, cannot forsake the power is because the power is what has given me um, everything that I have. I mean, not in materialistic. When you see me and everything that's on me, this is the power of Yah. You see, when you look at everything created, and you look in the sky, you look at the trees, you look at everything. That's that power. You see, so I don't see why we would accept him. We battle with we more so go up against people for us his name. You don't know his name if you don't know his power. See, they don't get that. They think they know his name without his power. His name comes with his power. And that's where many have forsaken because they didn't know where the power really exists. They think the power has to be like unto flesh and blood power. No, this power goes beyond. If you had to measure it from 1 to 100, flesh and blood power is, let's say, less than 1% out of 100. Yah's power is 100%. That's how far our power in the flesh is compared to his power in the spirit. Just giving you a kind of a insight on how we cannot see his power to be measured to the way our power is here on the earth. His is from the heavens and the earth. He's all power. So it goes beyond what we can even think or feel, or even what we can see. We can't see his power. We can't feel his power. We can't think his power. We can't perform his power. Why? Because it goes beyond our simple understanding. If you were to use that power that is in you, that's greater, you know what? You probably fall out dead after you finish. That's just how powerful it is, because for so long you have denied the power. If the power were to come and be 100% activated or put forth in you, you probably fall out dead. You probably would, because you couldn't handle what you're about to see. Your flesh couldn't take the fact that this power is something to behold. You know, it's beyond the eyes. You know, it's put in front of the eyes. It can be put in front of the eyes, but it's beyond that. That's where when you see Elijah, he told him to just get up. Don't forget about the sea rolling up on both sides. I mean, it's just from the Genesis to Revelation, you see my Father's power. But what he keep instilling in me is when they have forsaken my power in Genesis chapter 1 and verse 26, they forsaken it because they knew not of it. And if they don't know my power, Deborah, them going around say they know the name, they just as lost can be. They don't know their right hand from their left. And that's sad. That's deep too, y'all. When you don't know your right hand from your left, this is what the Father is saying. For those who are out here thinking, oh, I know the name, and the name is this, and the name is this, and baby, if you don't know the power, you don't know the name. You can't have the name without the power. And I'm going to tell y'all something that you didn't know. As you look and read under the Ruach, he will show you how many verses is telling you and connecting you with the power standing right beside the name, and the name standing right beside the power. You ain't gonna never see it because you don't look that far to desire the things which are spirit and truth. But it's in there. When I saw it, I was like, so you told me this, but it's all over the place. He said, yes, always been. So at the end of this message, we're gonna cover that power. What I'm doing is I got 2 videos. I got one on YouTube and then I have one on my phone. And what I'm going to do, if this one shut down, I got a backup today. Okay. I want to go somewhere with me. All over the place. I'm going to be all over the place and I don't care. And I want to start with some issues that you hear in the world. You hear a young lady, her name is Blac Chyna. This is the sort of revelation that was it's in Matthews, it's in Luke, it's in John, and it's also in Mark. It's telling you to be careful regarding those that out there that says, here I am, they out there. Those are the ones you have to be careful. Look at what Kanye did. I am so hurt in my spirit, not hurt to the point where, oh, I can't get over it, but I'm hurt that all of these Hebrew men made videos about Kanye being the man of God. He's this and he's this and he did. You even have what's that lady name? Call herself a prophet. Carrie, whatever her name is. When someone sent me an email, not an email, but on my YouTube, and said, have asked me, it's in my private section, and asked me if have I seen her video talking all this good stuff about Kanye. And when I looked at it, it really done something to me and said, you call yourself a prophet and you calling Kanye Moses? And the other young man, Kyrie, I think that's his name, you calling him Aaron? How did they get that big old powerful name like that? She gives it to him, saying this is what Yah revealed to her. Right then, I knew something is shaky. What is people doing is they're going through other people's video and listening to others and how they feel about the issue. And then they put it together and come out and say, this is what Yah said. Well, Sister Deborah, I don't look to my right. I don't look to my left. I just keep it going. Where he said, stay in your lane. Don't go in their lane, hearing what they said, and then bringing it, expounding on it, and covering it up as if they're saying something right. No, you can't do that. You got to be able to hear that quiet voice. See it, Deborah. Deborah, did you know this? And you be like, all these years, no, I didn't, Father. You know I didn't know nothing about that. You had that in your bosom. That's why I didn't know nothing about it. You had that. You kept that in your bosom. But it sounds good to me. You see, you wait for him to teach you. But going back to what I was saying, people are using the power out of their mouth and out of their flesh and out of their wicked and evil. But the power is so beautiful. And it's so awesome. And we're going to talk about it at the end of this topic. But we're going to talk about it. But I wanted you to talk about a young lady named Blac Chyna. You hear people covering her. This is exactly what I try to tell y'all. These people on YouTube, they got all these subscribers and likes. They really covering the world. You need to listen to what they're talking about, you guys. And what they're talking about, 99.9, that's where they at today, covers the world. Now, what they don't understand is somebody like Sister Deborah, who the Father said, if it was so, it will fool the very elect. Meaning it ain't going to happen. You can't fool Deborah. I know what they're doing. They're trying to make money. They're trying to raise subscribers and likes. So they feel the need to put everything about the world. Anything come out, they want to cover it. But then on the other end, they want to go on the other side of the fence on the Sabbath and represent y'all this, y'all that, y'all this, and then go pull out scriptures and verses. That's why I was even said, even regarding the Sabbath, we're not supposed to just think, come on here when it's talk about y'all doing the Sabbath. This is supposed to be within us 24/24. Let me tell y'all something. I don't think this one, I'm gonna say it's one, I'm gonna tell y'all one thing I would not change that has I have had in my life. Okay, Sam, I am 62. I would not want to change nothing, not even the experience, not even the turmoil and the issues that Yah has lived in my life since I was 4 up until now. I wouldn't want to change none of it. Because more and more I live, I see the beauty in how he has orchestrated my life to walk behind him. You see? So I like that. I love it, you know, and I can see you guys something special. You know, I really can, even though I don't claim to be special, but I can see something special in it. And I can feel something special. So I'm going to talk about some issues, and something Sister Deborah don't do all the time, but I'm going to talk about it to try to bring you into a spiritual setting of the issue. We got this young lady named Blac Chyna. And you get all these people on the YouTube who call themselves worshiping Yah and Yah this, Yah that, and wants to make videos regarding her choice to leave that lifestyle she has and become a Christian and become and come out of what she was in. First of all, I want to tell y'all, they look at how the circus was about the basketball player, Kyrie. Look at the circus about Nick Cannon. Look at the circus about Kanye. Now, are they following the light? Are they following anything that has to do with Yah? They went right back into the world even deeper. You see? But how did they get the men to follow them all the way out like that? Because they never were in, said the Father. All of these Hebrew Israelite men, the Father said, they would never, this is what he said, they would never get back on this devil platform and repent or to say or tell anybody they were wrong. That was a lie. That They would never. So if they're not able to come back to this devil platform and tell you we're sorry, we lied, they don't even have to say lie. We were wrong. I repent, because we made videos after videos, and we put Kyrie, Kanye, what's his name? Nick Cannon. We put all of them on a high pedestal as if they were a god. We told the whole world that they represent Yahuwah. We told the whole world. We told it to the Chinese. We told it to the Europe. We told it to Russia. We told it to United States. These Hebrew Israelites told the whole world. And guess what? Every last one of these men on this devil platform, every last one of the Hebrew Israelite men that has a platform, every last one of them made a video or 2, 3, or 4 regarding these men, boosting them, putting them up on a pedestal. So what did he say? He said, false Christ shall come. But if you don't know who Christ is, you don't know what to look for. And because in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, you never knew that was the power. That was the power of the Most High. That was his right hand and his stretched out arm, who was present and connected to the word let. But by you not knowing who the power is, you don't know who the word Christ is in the King James Bible in English. So if you don't know who Christ is, you don't know who HaMashiach is. So when you hear people talking about Yeshua, or Yeshua in the name of Yeshua, no, ain't no name of Yeshua. If the Father will suffer Yeshua to come off of that throne on the right-hand side of that power, he will come and tell y'all, you got it wrong. I never, ever told y'all that. Why didn't Yeshua tell him? Because all the time he was here, he was so busy telling us about the Father's power. And see how we didn't hear then, and we don't hear today. That's all Yeshua did in his mission, is trying to get us to connect to the Father who has suffered him to do everything he has done. He never claimed it to be his. The Son of Man never said it was him. The Son of Man never said they were his miracles. The Son of Man never said that was his mission. He always said it was the Father, because it was the Father's right hand, which is the power called HaMashiach, which in Genesis 1 and 26, the Father's right hand. Excellent job, Father. Excellent job did Yeshua. This is why the world is confused today, especially. And you know what? The whole world is confused. And like he said, of course. You know why? That is so 100. Because as I'm here, I'm not dead, I'm living. I see that. I feel that. I behold that. So I'm bringing confirmation to why the things are taking place. It's because it's all out of whack. One can't try to teach the other. And I like what is going to take place in the days to come over in the promised land. One man ain't going to need another man to teach them. See, because that's where it was planned from the beginning. If you get the Ruach HaKodesh, then I will be your teacher. But what we do? Oh no, we want a man. We want what we can see and believe. We want what we can touch and believe. We want where we can deal with one-on-one and believe. And that's why all these platforms are so successful. Because it makes people thinking, it makes people believe that they're connected. And they don't even understand you ain't connected to nothing but evil. You're not connected to anything but evil through the devil's platform. So when I get to this young lady, Black China, and I hear different so-called pastors And people talking about, oh, she been baptized and she changed this, she changed this, she changed that. That's all flesh. All of that flesh, even the baptism is for the flesh. Until you baptized by the Spirit, you still went down a dry devil and came up a wet one. So ain't nothing on the outer man can be renewed until the inner man is renewed and have received the baptism by fire. So when you hear a certain somebody like Marcus Rogers, that's a very sick man. He's a very, very sick man, and he's leading a multitude of people. And I understand why he's leading them. It's because he's been given the position to lead the people where he feel Yah is at. And he wouldn't dare call him Yah. He wants to be under the Christian. And it hurts him to see what is taking place with the Christian today. That's because he's too ignorant to know what Sister Deborah is freely given many to understand. Christian is only a shield for the Roman Catholic to hide behind, which is the system to hide behind, which is the power of Satan's right hand. Isn't that sad? Don't even know Satan's right hand. People are living all over the world and don't even know, call themselves in Christian churches and Baptist churches and all these places, and Satan get around. He get a chance to go to and fro, up and down. He goes all over the place, and he don't even have to deceive people. People are deceiving each other. Isn't that sad? They working for him before he come to them and give them his ticket. They say, "Oh no, give me your ticket. I want one. I'm already ahead in that way." That's how y'all might not see it like that. I'm speaking of spirit and truth. I'm seeing it. And by me being a prophetess in the wilderness, I can see it for what it is. So when I get to Blac Chyna, she don't understand, nor whoever pastor or whoever baptized her, or whoever taking her money, they don't understand. And Marcus Rogers, he wants her so bad so he can get a little piece of that money. That is a very sick man. He is dollar hungry. It's nothing he can offer Blac Chyna because you're not delivered. You're not delivered. So you can't offer her nothing. You know, just because you got a building, offer everybody else's finances, don't mean that you're going to offer her salvation in any shape, form, or fashion, because you can't give her that. Only the Father himself. Okay? Being baptized don't mean nothing. See, because they forsaken the baptized by fire, and they took on the baptized by water, because they didn't know that there is a baptism by fire and there is a baptism by water. They don't understand the one by fire is spirit. The one by water, you can go in a dry devil and come up a wet one and feel your flesh saved. You see, that's the difference. But when you go down by the Ruach HaKodesh by fire and be baptized by the fire, oh man, you good to go. You see? But see, they don't know nothing about that. Okay? So she goes out, and this is what I say, and I say to you all out there and anybody, like unto Blac Chyna. You can go to and fro. You can take out this, you can add this, you can take this away, and you can take this away. You can go in a wet devil and come up a dry devil, or you can go down a dry devil and come up a wet one. You're not in there, sister. You're not there. You're nowhere near that until you're born by the fire. Something that you won't get nobody to tell you that, because this is what I heard her say on this one. Is it Tyra? I think that's the name of the girl, Tyra station. She said, "Oh no, I'm going to be doing everything I've always done. I'm just going to tune it down a little bit. I'm going to change my look and take things out." And, and now it's all about God. I'm like saying, baby, please. I tell you what, let me give you a real good one. And I'm going to speak it so that I know for sure. I'm going to speak it. And I know for sure if she don't give it up, she can't enter in. How about this? How about this? You telling the world you took this away and this away and this away and that away and this away, and you are baptized. How about this? How about this? Give up the lifestyle. Give up your wealth. Pick up your cross and follow Yeshua HaMashiach. She ain't gonna do it. Like she was on that talk show last week. I'm gonna be doing all the things I were doing, but I'm just gonna start taking everything away, and you know, I'm still gonna be making money. You see what I'm saying? She ain't saying she coming out to represent Yah. And that's even to today. A lot of people don't even understand. When them times, I need to stop saying when them times come, because Yah is dealing with me with the times. I need to stop saying when they come. These times that we in, that I'm seeing, it's because he preparing me from the inside for what is happening in the world on the outside. Praise the mighty Yah. And that's why I cannot deny him. Okay? So this lady, she needs to give up her wealth. She needs to give up the lifestyle and give up her wealth. Her wealth don't mean what Yeshua told the rich man to give up. I, as a prophetess, tell her to give up her wealth. Give up that lifestyle that brings you wealth and the wealth they're in. Feed the homeless. Go out there and do something for somebody. They're not going to do it. Kanye West didn't do it, and Marcus Rogers trying to get on him too. Kyrie, Marcus Rogers trying to get anybody he think got money. Oh, he all out there. He even tried to get the lady who won, I think, was it $10 million? He even was on making a video for her to come to their church, his church. This is Marcus Rogers. This is why I know he's not what people think he is. And a lot of the women is flaunting to his church. These white women, it's because for many a reason. You see what I'm saying? And he thinking he's building a foundation of the most higher. No, you ain't, bro. He knows your heart. You got to greed in your heart. It's not beautiful at all. It's not worth anything but to get what you're after. And this is what many of them do. You know, they try to send messages out to try to get these people to think that they all is, and how they do it based on their subscribers and their likes. They know they got enough people to try. Somebody's going to reach out for them. That's what they think. Or I put this on here. Maybe she can come. Maybe Blac Chyna come to our church. That's what he said. That's how he think. That's how he reacts. Because he figured if I got all these subscribers, at least one of them might be able to reach out to her. That's to Kanye, to Kyrie. That's his mindset. And that's pretty much a lot of them. Even Pastor Dow, when he dealing with these football players and these professional people. And they standing being flunkies for a man that they serving as a God. And they didn't turn to God. See, when you serve man over Yah, you messed up on the floor. You have a hard time finding your way home because you got lost. And when you got lost, you found where you were at comfortable. You don't want to go home because that individual made you feel comfortable where you at. And you should know by now, I want to go home. I want to go where I need to be. I want to go where I can do what my Father in heaven said I want to do. No, you got to stay with this person because you found home to be that, and you found him to be your God. You see? So that's where your heart is. That's where you rested at. So, Blac Chyna, you ain't got nothing coming, baby. So everybody can go on and sing praises to you and make you think you doing something. No. And now Sister Deborah knows everything takes time and takes steps. Woo! What time are we in? You get what I'm saying? We need to stop playing. We need to stop all this playing, clowning. Okay? And I want to talk about Les Brown. And he was a speaker. He used to be a speaker. He's a black man, and he used to go to different places, and he used to be on all the talk shows, and he used to speak very elegant, and just, he was a foster child. He was a twin. His parents put him up for adoption when he was a baby, and he just went through so much. And he was told that he was had mental problems, in school, or he was slow, he was. So he ended up being traveling all over the world, being a speaker. And he was just on television, and he's 78 years old, looking every bit of 50 something years old. When I saw him, and then he began to he began to talk about he's battling cancer 4 times. And he was, now this is the 4th time, and he's battling it now, but he's under the medication. And he just saying so many things. And I love the way he was talking, because he was giving the Father the glory, you guys. He was giving Yah the praise in the midst of whatever is going on. And he was telling people they need to find themselves their place in Yah. And that same thing I said too. I said, now here he telling people, you need to find out what he wants you to, what he wants you to be saying and doing in this day and time. And he was just talking about how he was 77. He found his birth mother, his birth father. They are dead in their seats. His birth grandmother, he was just saying, found out that he's going to be speaking this week in his grandmother's church that she started. And he's going to be the speaker. Okay, so he was just saying, and he started to get emotional, because he spoke of the same thing Sister Deborah have been saying, how crazy people are in the world. And he was like, can y'all see these people? Do you see they killing their children, their women? He was just talking about everything, and he wasn't stopping. And I just really enjoyed listening to him, because this is where you see a Black man who have had struggles throughout life, even had this slavery mission even on his back, but yet he's speaking of how all these things that happened to him, God had been dealing with him when he was a little young kid. See, and that's what his whole message was, is just letting everybody know God had been dealing with him when he was a young boy. Look where he's at and where he been in life. He said that all the places he traveled and all the places he been all this time, he said, you look back. What's that song he said? And I remember he said, I've been running for a long time, and I'm not tired yet. That's what he was saying. I've been running for a long time, and I'm not tired yet. And that goes way back. And he was just singing that. He was saying that because if God is still allowing him to stand and be a speaker, now he's letting him go to his grandmother's church and preach, because he realized that all this speaking, all this revelation that he had about life and things in life, he said this was it was all about serving the Most High. He called him God. He said serving God. Just think of that. He's 78 and he recognized it all. He's been recognizing it. He's just talking about it today. So even in the midst of him going through the 4th stage of cancer, meaning this is the 4th time. He's been healed from it 3 times, but this 4th time, he's now taking the medicine, and he's gonna get past that too. I mean, he looks good, you guys. He looks good, look real well. And I was like, and he was saying the season we're in, and why is it no one is doing, just things that I sit back and I can identify with him. Sister Deborah is not a person that was given the ability to understand Yah from the inside, to see people on the outside to be any different than what I am on the inside or what I'm saying. He might not know about Yah. He might not know that he is a chosen people. He might not know these things, but it's something else in him that's greater than those things in which we as a Hebrew Israelite movement want to bam across people's head and say, you got to know the name. The name is this, and you have to, you have to do this feast, and you have to do this. Look, the way Ahia has orchestrated from heaven, no man knows. But I can tell you, based on what he has shown me, he did it according to his will and his power for his name's sake. did he do these things in his way. Okay, so I really enjoyed listening to Les Brown today. And like I said, he's 78, and it was really good. It was really good. I want to also share with you all. I did a little study early this morning, and I had an issue. I want to share something with you all. Let me share this one first. I was looking at YouTube and I see this man had bought his son, I think it was 40 something acres of land in California. And he was a black man. And he was just talking about how they sat out there and they see the skies and how beautiful it feels out there. I can just imagine, because that's the same way I tell you all that if I were to purchase land, I would go straight out and get land, and I would lay out on the ground, and I would lay there all night just to marvel off the sky where I can see. And I know for without a doubt, he gonna show up and show out. I know it without a doubt. He would do, y'all would do me like that. He'd get me out there and he'd come down. Girl, what you doing? He does. He got a sense of humor. I'm telling y'all, he got some sense of humor. I'm sitting out there on land and I'm just out there by myself. Everything pitch dark. I can just see him now coming down and say, girl, what you doing? And I'll be, I'm just waiting for you. I'm just waiting for you, Father God. That's how I know him. That's how I feel I know him, you guys. But so this man in California bought all this land for his son. And his son, I think, is 16. He got it for his 16th birthday. His daddy don't look no more than 50 years old. I think he's 52, something like that. And I'm like saying, okay, you buying all this for your son. What is your son going to do with that land? That was in California. And I did something that was really different, you guys, today. And I don't know what made me do that. I looked up the place to retire in this day and time. What would be a suitable place to retire? And did you know they started off from the 50 states on down? And I want to share something with you all that you all don't know. When I did that, now I did that, I wasn't even planning on doing that. I don't know where that come from, y'all, but it's just something I did. When I did the study, I went straight down to their account. And did you know all these places that our people have bought land are the first, let me see someone calling, okay, are the first places that was listed as the 50. The best comes down to the 1. I mean, Kentucky, Tennessee, all of them. They were the worstest place to buy land, and they were listing them all not buy land, to retire. And when you think of retiring, you're looking at even the land going out to buy. You have to take in consideration that, okay, these heathen has been cunning, crooked, conniving. So you got to stick with what they're listing. I mean, when you want to be smart, you see, remember he said, be wiser than the serpent. And this is the type of thing you have to be. You have to be wiser than them. So I'm going to tell you what I did. And I don't know why I did this here today. I sat back and I studied each one of them. I said, but all of them looks nice and beautiful for land. But all the places that our people ran out, Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, Louisiana, they were naming all of these places is not a good place to retire. So I said, I'm going to look at all of them, and then I'm going to get to the last 10. And when I got to the last 10, there was my state where I stayed. I said, this is supposed to be so a bad state. How did it get down here to 10 from 50? I'm just saying. And I'm like, because, when you're going down to 10, you're going down to the places where the retired, right? So as I was looking at this, it was confusing to me because I'm trying to make some sense out of this. To why is it that they're labeling all these places as not a good place to retire, but yet our people are running out, getting land on the land that is known to be a place that you don't want to retire in. Okay, now listen to this. So I think about the young man that bought all that land for his son. You can tell that we as a people, we don't do our search. We don't do study. Everybody knows that California is a place. I don't know if y'all know this, but the water is getting less and less. And they're right at the water where all the, if anything, that will be the first part of the country that will fall over due to earthquakes and things that's actually taking place. When everybody knows that everybody has left California, so why would you buy your son all of this 48 acres of land? And it's like, it's beautiful though. It's beautiful. But what go on in a man's mind? And it was listed as, California was listed as one of the closest to the first 10 bad place to retire. And I'm like, why would this man think of that? Why wouldn't he do his search? I'm gonna tell y'all why. So as time go on, California is also the state that I have been warned about as far as the space. Up in space, they got lasers that were triggering down to destroy property in California, because that is a part, let me tell y'all, that is a part of the United States that China wants to come in and own. I don't know if they want to sell it to someone else, but that's one of the main places. That's why people are running by great numbers, even Mexicans too. They're running from California and they're going to Texas, back in that area, and Arizona. They're going to areas of that kind, but they're moving out of California. Everybody knows that. So why would you go buy all this acre for your son that's 16? Now, this is the type of people we are. Then I began to think about all these brothers and sisters that buying all this land in these places where I see they're saying that out of the 10, out of 50 states in this country, is not a good place to retire. Okay? But they're running out getting this land without doing any study. Now, here's Sister Deborah. She ain't went out to get no land. She hasn't went out to, and my idea was Texas. But Texas was also one of them closer down to like the 18th. The in between that 30 going down in between, like, no, I think it was like up in like the 30th state to retire, people retiring in that land. So what I'm trying to say to you all, I don't know if you all heard on the news about the mayor in Florida, and then you heard this real old man. He got to be about 82, and he's in the office, and he works with NWAAPC or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. And he was saying that he wants to pass, he want a law passed so that Black people won't enter into Florida, because what the mayor said about letting that history go into the schools and the things that the mayor is doing that is against Black people. So I'm like looking through this. Now I'm just doing something today, you guys. I'm just doing something because I didn't have nothing to do. And I'm reading through all of it. When I got to all of those states, when I got to the last 10, I said that would be my choice. Now that I'm doing a little study, when I got to the last 10, guess what? Guess who was the number one place to retire? Florida. 50 states. Florida is the number one. That's why that Negro man has been paid to get on nationwide television to try to ban black people out of Florida, because he wants to say, because Sanjels, whatever his name, Sanjel, whatever that mirror is, said some things against black as far as the schooling and so on. He's setting up things against black. No, it ain't. Let me tell y'all why. 4 years ago, when I was going to, how would I say it, estate sales, I found myself going to a lot of business sales who's going out. And my question were to them was, why are you selling all your stuff? This is a good business. Weren't you doing good? You guess what these heathens and Gentiles are doing, y'all? And I am not kidding you all. They're selling everything they own and they're moving to Florida. Now, this was like 4 years ago, before the pandemic. It confuses me to see this. Now, I'm going to be honest. When it got to people having estate sales in their homes, I was pretty much going to those who had passed away and their children or their sisters and brothers is selling their items. And I would go there to purchase things to take to the thrift store, right? But in my mind, I couldn't understand why these elderly people are selling all that good stuff for pennies. Oh, we're moving to Florida. So I'm just trying to say to you all, everybody's moving to Florida to retire. But when you know where to go, you already know that the system is telling people that's European and the heathens, if while this world is here, the best place you're going to have in safety would be Florida. And then they got this Negro man with the NAACP, whatever that is, to try to go to court to ban black people from Florida. Now, I know we cut up from the floor, especially on spring break, but even without spring break, black people, we are as a people, if we were ugly to the Father, do you think we are good people down here to the heathens and Gentiles? Come on, or to ourselves. If you wrong the Creator, do you really think that you are all that ain't some? Come on now, talk to me. If you have been disrespectful, stiff-necked rebellion and disobedient, you think you've been stiff-necked rebellion and disobedient to the heathens? No, you've been that to the Creator. If you ever decide to go back to Genesis and slide all the way through Revelation and understand it in spirit and truth, you'll realize with Sister Deborah, we are ugly than you say we are. Because we are. But we role play everything to be all this, and we all that they doing this and they. We don't even understand Ezekiel 36. You heard in Isaiah, you heard in Jeremiah, you heard in Ezekiel, and you heard in the prophets, especially those who've been killed, telling you how ugly of a people we are. Soon as Moses threw those tablets onto the ground, he took swords. He came into the camp and was disapproval. He even turned, I think, that calf into dust and made them drink it. Then he also had Aaron. He said, tell the Levi, all of us come together, the Levites and you two, Aaron, we're going to draw our sword. We're going to kill our people. What? See, you all don't really understand. We have been a very ugly people. And we've been that way to the Creator of the whole world. So while we're running down here trying to say that people are doing us this way, doing us that way, we don't even understand. Baby, y'all see your ugliness where you at. He's seen it. He chose your ugliness. knew he was going to deal with it. I can choose them, Deborah, from the heaven. He said, because those who go into the lake of fire, I chose them to go to the lake of fire. So how you like me now? You see what I'm saying? You don't mess with this creator like that. You don't just assume that he's going to play patty cake, bake a man with you all. You got people out here, Josh and his other partner, they had have a movie out. And I'm glad that they have the movie because Josh is a really nice person. But Josh, baby, y'all been all off balance. But see, they looking at that dollar. They looking at taking care of their children and all these children they have and their wives. They're not looking at the fact that, y'all don't need you to make no movie. For what? This is to benefit you and yours. He sent you out. He sent the disciples out. He sent Yeshua HaMashiach out. No movie can't show his power. No movie can't show his glory. No movie can praise him. No movie can honor him. No movie can respect him. So what is this y'all doing? But this is the mindset of our men that's so far out in the deep of the ocean, never to find their way to dry land. And that's between them and Yah. Because we have an issue. Josh was he was a good teacher, but he has gotten so far from teaching and leading the people, telling the people about the dreams that the Father has given him and what the Father was telling him. Because I was interpreting his dream, so I know. He left it. It's been probably longer than 7-8 months, almost a year. Then went on out, ain't been on teaching and doing what he's supposed to do. And now coming up out of nowhere, said we got a movie. Him and his partner. Y'all playing too much. Y'all doing a lot of clowning, and y'all don't know the severity of what time period we're in. So I was talking about Florida. So when I got to the 50 states, Florida is the number one, y'all. I said, that's why that Negro man sitting here gonna ban for these heathen and these Gentiles. They pay him to ban black people so they won't come into Florida. Talking about they doing the black people wrong. See how the black people, see how they use them? And I said, he's already in his grave. So he don't care. Sure, I set it up. I go, and he has. Went to court to try to get it to be to where it ain't gonna work. Then it might, because we as a people, we don't fight back towards stuff like that. But that's what he said. You had very few of men fighting against what he was saying. And I would say, see, these are real men that comes up, see something that don't sound right, and they speak on it. And as I realized, as I've been reading in the Bible, I've been realizing that back in Genesis all the way up, there always been those who spoke against what Israel and tribe of Judah was doing. Always spoke against them. And guess what? Yah has had a habit of always marking them, always seeing too that you kill everybody but don't touch them. I love that. I love that. Because when you want to step in the realm where you want to totally disrespect my Father Ahia, you want to disrespect him and dishonor him and profane his name and have no respect for him. You know what? What he does is what he does best. And that is, he don't play. It's the reason that we have spiritual fear of him. Because we know who he is in the spirit. Because that's who he is, spirit. And we fear what we know in the spirit. These people out here, they don't have the fear of they don't have a fear of Yah, because Yah don't have nothing to do with them. So I wanted to just share that. I was shocked that, no, I wasn't shocked. I knew Florida was in there because, like I said, 4 years ago, all these places and I went to about 50 of them. And every time I turn around, I saw these white people moving. I'm like, where y'all going? And normally when I go, it's be people that passed away and they selling that. No, these here were elderly selling stuff. I mean, I got lawnmowers. I got all kind of really good stuff. way out in the suburbs, just buying stuff that they giving away almost for the little of nothing, just to move to Florida. Everybody, I'm saying, what's in Florida? So this one guy said, Deborah, I think the reason why these old white people going there is because of the weather. This cold is killing them. I said, okay, you keep on thinking that. They know what it is. So here we are, 4.5 years later. That's the number one place to retire. And all the other places are started up there with the 50. And that's why I see our people buying land. And I said, oh, baby. And not to say that there's nothing wrong with buying land there, but it's showing you that let's talk about a development. If a development wants to can see in the next 20 years within their plan and in their system that they're going to build hotels on the street where I live. They're going to start preparing. They're getting the people out, selling, buying the property, and so on. Okay? So what I'm saying is, if the places that they're not going to be developing or buying, it's going to be a reason why they're giving it to you for the little or nothing. Do y'all get what I'm saying? Like the man in California. It's a reason for it. You see? That could have been, your son is 16. Y'all could have got a certain amount to where you wouldn't be leaving a lot of it if you had to get up and run. You see? And y'all can go out there and live. But it was 48 acres. Come on now. What a 16-year-old doing with that? But only reason why you bought it is because they knew who you were and they sold it to you. And when it's all said and done, you don't own it. Because we as a people, we don't understand the system. You see? And if they're saying that we're not going to develop in this area and our people are buying land in the area that's already listed 40 years ago to get away from, and that's what I'm trying to say to y'all. These lands, if they're saying that these are not places that you should retire, it's because they're seeing the future. We don't look like that. They're seeing the future as, okay, you get this here. This land ain't going to be worth nothing to us. We're moving this way. Okay? And if they're moving this way and we're moving this way, then whatever go on this way, once all the people go the other way, it's not like we should follow them. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying we need to really think about what we're doing as far as trying to buy all this land. Look at that 48 acres. Stop trying to be able to come to this devil platform and say, I got this and I got that. A lot of them are in lease an option to buy, and they just been lying to you all for years. Okay. That's why you can see them be someplace for 15 years. Next thing you know, they're over here. Next thing you know, they're over there. It's because they haven't owned nothing. It's what they've been telling you. Now, buying all the land is not necessary. Like with Sister Deborah, I don't think I would get no more than 5 to 6 acres. I wouldn't need what I'm gonna do with the rest. What I'm gonna do with it? You see, but what our minds are not thinking and putting the Father first in our every mood and our steps. Our men are so used to not having and not knowing how and not thinking and not turning to the most higher. They turn to within themselves. And then their heads get bloated and they just go and just purchase. And honestly, they don't understand you might not be purchasing anything. You see, I'm going to say that example. I think I spoke to you all about what happened to my son. My son had Tennessee, coming from Atlanta to Missouri. And they stopped him, I think it's in Tennessee. Before he got to Tennessee, police. And he took him up to the high mountains. And up on that high mountains was a jail. And he had a ticket, a warrant for a ticket. And he took them all the way up there knowing that even he himself, he was a European, was afraid. You all, I never knew that type of place exists. And this is why I say to you all, we as a people, we are short all the way here. all the way in our way of wisdom, in our way of knowledge, in our flesh. That's why Sister Deborah say we got this thing about our own understanding and our own personal opinion and our own feelings and our own emotions. We don't, and our own wisdom, and because we don't. How would I say it? It's like we just wild animals, and we don't think. When I had never knew that this type of place exists, and ever since then, I just found out. It began with a V. I just found out in Texas they have one too. Mm-hmm. They have it in Texas as well. It's this one particular place, but they say it's more than one. But Texas has the same one. They said before sundown. But let me tell you something. That stuff is real. Let me tell you. That cop took my son up that night on the top of the hill, knowing that he wasn't supposed to come down. He was supposed to be killed. You see, he knew that. That's why he let him keep his phone. He did not handcuff him back in the back of the police car, and he told him, keep your phone. Because if they stop him coming up, if they take my son, he knew they was going to take him. But I said, well, what make you redneck take my son up to that mountain? Boy, when my son gave me that call, I said, the Spirit of the Most High had already gave me the feeling. I said, oh, you guys, oh, no. Oh, no. This sister was, woo. I'm like, oh. I said, I knew more than my son did, y'all. Oh, yes, Sister Deborah knew that Ruach HaKodesh is something. I mean, I knew more than my son knew, and he was the one up there. He come calling me and telling me, and I said, I need to talk to you and let you know you don't know where you at. You are in so much danger. He said, Mom, I'm going to call you back. I'm going to call you back. Boy, I waited and waited for that call. He called me back. He said, okay, Mama. Yeah, Mama. He said, they got me in a room, and it's a private room, got TV and everything in it. He said they couldn't put me in the jail because there's no black people in there, and everybody in there, the people that's up in there, will kill me. I said, child, God already told me that. I say, why did he take you up there? He said, I don't know, Mama. I don't know why he took me up there, because it takes you like 55 minutes to go all the way up to the top. And he took him up there, and they put him in there. And even when I walked up, when I got there, the chief of the sergeant or whoever he was over the jail, he was hiding behind the desk. Then he said, he'll be right out. They'll be right with you. And I'm like, why is this place so secluded? Because they knew. Black woman, do you know you ain't got no business up here? If they see us dealing with you, they'll kill us. That's just how bad it was. See, I didn't know that sort of thing exists. But I learned something. That there are still places where you going to be, like that young man he told his mother he was in trouble. Baby, when he said that, you should have been on your way. What do you mean? You should have called every surrounding counties in that area along with that police and wore their tails out. So the police would say, no, his family is aware of something, y'all. We can't do this. Police was in on it. They were in on it. But see, the son went somewhere. He's 25. You can't tell these kids anything. You can't go nowhere looking for a job, thinking that you can just go out in the boondocks and be something that you want to be. Those days are over. There's no more of that. That does not exist. They know that, and you right here today, they ain't doing nothing about it. That shows you the capacity of how powerful those people were on that land in which that son should have never went down there to. And mommy shouldn't even let him go. She should have said everything we can't keep them, but she should have said everything she possibly can. And I don't think she did, because a lot of our women just don't think when you're a good mother, it's a feeling you can get. It's a feeling down deep in you when your baby's in danger. My son, I didn't have to wait till my son tell me. The Ruach HaKodesh had already prepared me. And I told the father, and I ain't gonna sit here and lie to you. I said, I tell you what, I'm going up. I'm going up. You all, I booked me a rental car, and I said, I'm going up. Dead or alive, I'm going up. And I said, nobody's going with me. I don't need nobody to go with me. I'm going up there to get my son. Woo! But when I learned coming down, when I got him, went up there to get him and brought him down, and let me tell y'all, this is why I say to you all, stop running your tails around here thinking you know y'all without knowing his power. You get yourself messed up from the floor up every time. You got to know his power to know who he is. They come hand in hand. They was at the beginning in Genesis 1, creating everything. I booked that thing, laid down at night, didn't get that much sleep. The spirit woke me up and said, take his father. I said, he's just like a chicken. I'm going alone. He said, take him. Take him. And he called that morning, or you going by yourself. Bad as I want to. I told him. Bad as I want to. You lucky. The father told me to say, you can come go with me. Oh, yeah, I'll be ready. We're going up. Sister girl, let me tell you something. I didn't care about how bad and how y'all kill black people and lynch them, and you don't come down off that mountain. Let me tell you, you don't know who I'm going up here with. You see what I'm saying? See, when you know him like that, no European, white, KKK, skinhead, nothing can't mess with that type of power. That's when you know the power. And when you don't, you better sit your tail down somewhere. Stop pretending you know it. Stop pretending you know it. Because if you don't know it and you pull up on something like that, then my son come tell mama, please don't go. Please. The cop said that he would try to find a way to get me down. He said to one of the cops, another cop up there, he said, I'll try to work out some way to get you down. Scared. They was too scared to even bring them down. I called this one black guy, which I didn't know he was black until I was listening to him, to go up there and get him down. This was before I went up to pay for his bail. I paid the man, and then he go up there and get him down. Oh, he was all for it. Never did call me back. I was mad. I said, okay, that's when I said to the father, I'm going up. And when I was going up there, I did not know it was that long. It might have been longer than 55 minutes. It was so long. When I got up there, I had another bailsman to meet me there. So happened he knew the place. He goes up there all the time. And he was waiting in that room. He said, you're a tough woman. I said, why you say that? He said, because nobody comes up here black. I said, I didn't come alone. So I want you to know that. He said, that's the type of person I like. That's what I'm talking about. He's a white man. And him and I talked for about 40 minutes. They brought child, and my son was ducking and hiding, 6'3", every bit of what, about 2 something now. And he's about 2 something then, ducking and hiding. Said, mama, they say it's bad up here, mama. Please don't stop at no stop sign. Don't. He said he heard the stories from the European cops. They was telling them that they don't know why that cop took him up there. He took him up there as bait. That's why. And when what's that man? The bail guy that I paid the bondsman. He also went to court for him. So he's supposed to go back to court. And he said, no, I tell you what, you pay me certain, and I go to court for him. I said, okay. And that's what we did. That's how we solved it. And the court threw him out, that little ticket out. And he sent me a copy of the court procedure and everything. But I'm just saying, don't mess with my father. Sister Deborah, let me tell y'all, when I went over the cliff, and this cliff is like this down, and your car go like this, and I land the car on top of the rock. The car was on top of the rock like this on a Sunday. Oh, we don't have no cranks open, no companies open. You think y'all didn't have a company there less than an hour? Brought that big old monster machine, got me up, land me on the ground, land me on the road, and I went on home. Don't tell me who he is, but I know him, because I know him, but I know his power. So when you hear Sister Deborah talking his power, don't mess with me, because I know who he is. So this is what we're going to cover today. Another thing I wanted to say to you all, I'm learning about the AI system. The AI system. Now, this is something else. The AI system is systems that's going to always be moving throughout the tribulation. Everything that's going on, it's going to always be moving until everything is bam. So this AI technology and all of this, in that system, it's going to be Apple, Microsoft, Google, maybe Amazon, which I think Amazon is going to be a part of it, Tesla, and maybe IBM. Let me call them again. The AI system that they're getting ready to control everybody with is going to be Apple's computer, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Tesla, and maybe IBM. Okay, so that's just letting you know the system that they're going to hold on to. When all the restaurants and everything closed and everything, the system that's in this AI, which is wicked and evil, those are the ones that's going to be under it, still yet holding under it. Okay, so even those type of places as far as working, but they're going to start closing every other jobs and stores and restaurants and movies and everything. But they're going to go under that wickedness system. Okay, they're going to be an AI system, and it ain't going to be. It's already. Let me just put it like that. And it's Apple computer, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Tesla, and maybe IBM. Okay, now they're going to always run, y'all, until the debris of Babylon has fallen. Okay, so I want you to go to. I want you to try to understand something. Let's go to Romans chapter 1 and verse 16. I believe that we have a serious sick issue. And you do have a sick issue. Because when you mess with my Father's power, you done messed up on the floor. And even the people that be on this devil platform, I say that all the time about them because they have denied the power. And to do that is to say, don't let people come to you talking about, oh, thank you, Father. Yeah, thank you. Don't let people come talking to you about Yahuwah and who he is, his name, who Yeshua HaMashiach is, who Jesus Christ is, who Jesus is, who Christ is, who Yah is. Get away from me if you don't understand his power. Get away from me. You don't have it. Okay? Now, in Romans chapter 1, verse 6. In Romans chapter 1, verse 6, verse 16. In Romans chapter 1, verse 16, this is what I said to you at the beginning. I told you at the beginning that we're going to wind it up into talking about his power. And that's where we're at right now. Romans chapter 1, verse 16. I want you to first get your pencil and your piece of paper so you can write this down. It's going to help you a great deal. Romans chapter 1, verse 16. For I am not ashamed of the gospel. For I am not ashamed of the gospel. This is Paul. You know what amazed me is to see me living in the year 2023 and can feel the disciples in the way they speaking and the way they teaching. I can feel Jeremiah and Isaiah and Ezekiel. I can feel the way they rumble, the way they teach, and the way they speak. Oh, Solomon, I ain't forgot you, baby. I ain't forget you, Solomon. I can feel you, baby. You see what I'm saying? It's because we're from the same lump. We're in that seed. And that is the seed of the most high or highest that was planted in the soil. You get what I'm saying? Remember the other four? The other three was planted. The word was planted on the stony rocks, the thorns, and on the wayside. But he said, I put some in the seed, in the soil. Well, that's who we are. We are the seed that was placed in the soil, in the righteous place. Okay? Now, in Romans chapter 1, verse 16, I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ. The gospel. The gospel. The gospel. The gospel of the power. The gospel of the power. What happened, Deborah? What happened, Deborah, from Genesis to Revelation? No, from Genesis to Romans. What happened that no one understands anything about the power? Why ain't you seeing Yeshua? Because you all keep denying the power therein that came down with the Spirit of Yah and with the Word of Yah and sat in Yeshua to see the mission through of the Father. Because we want to give all that to Yeshua. Let's only give Yeshua what Yah has given us in him and out of him. He is the door to the Father. How do we come through that door? Through the blood that he sacrificed for our sin. That's Yeshua. That's the Son of Man. But who is this Christ? Who is this HaMashiach? That's the power that saw the mission through that brings you to the Father. That's why you can't come no other way but through Yeshua HaMashiach. So here you see in Romans, make sure you write this down. Romans chapter 1, verse 16. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of the power. The gospel of what? Wait a minute, hold up. What did you think Yeshua was saying? The kingdom of heavens is at hand. The kingdom of heavens is at hand. Letting you know heaven come down with me. You better watch yourself. That's what Yeshua was saying. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. What you mean? Hand. What you mean, Yeshua? Hand. What you mean? Hand. Yeshua has been telling us that everything that heaven has, it's at hand. How? The power, the word, and the spirit. And it was him, the sacrifice, that was trying to tell us the kingdom of heaven is right before us. See, denying the power wasn't something they did today. They've been denying the power. Now, the disciples didn't deny it, and the people of the Bible didn't deny it. Yes, you are. Those after this book, after Yeshua, they the one denied it. They got away with it. The disciples didn't. They didn't do it. And those that followed them, they didn't do it. It just now. Everybody's away from the power. Because that's why they on the devil platform, gaining power for the flesh. So that they can deceive people with the wisdom of their knowledge, the wisdom of their flesh, the knowledge of their flesh, because they don't have the power. So I'm like saying, okay, Yeshua, well, what's this thing about the kingdom of heaven is at hand? Why are you hollering at Deborah? I'm telling them that the whole heaven, everything that the Father is consist of, he sent it down to work with me. So I'm trying to tell the people that it's at hand, but they forsake it. And they only see the Son of Man and not the Son of Yah. Okay, so here, let me explain that to you. Romans chapter 1, verse 16. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ. I'm not ashamed of that power. That's what Paul is saying. I'm not ashamed of that power, Deborah. Now watch this. For it is the what? For it is the what? Wait a minute. Why is Paul calling Christ the power of Yah? Why? Paul, why are you calling Christ the power of my Father? Because, Deborah, you know. They don't, but you know. You know who that right hand is. You know who that stretched out arm is. It is the power of our Father, and I ain't ashamed of it. Okay, watch this here. For it is the power of Yah unto salvation to everyone that believeth. So it ain't coming to you if you don't believe it. What it is that you don't believe? The power. So that's why the gate is narrow. Because you ain't gonna never find this. Even the sister Deborah tell you ain't gonna find it. It's only found by those that are higher, has orchestrated to find it. So even Sister Deborah can't even show you the way. Hallelujah! I love that because it leaves it out of my hand, put it back into the power hand. Now, see, Paul is sitting here telling you that Christ is the power. Now, watch this here. Unto. Why? Because Christ is, what did I tell you? Christ is the part of Yeshua. Yeshua is the Son of Man. Christ is the Son of Yah. He's the part that brings. He's the part that brings the salvation. Listen to what it said. To everyone that what? Believe. To everyone that believe it. Because the four brands is righteous, belief, faith, and fear. It's a brand for my name's sake that I have branded the Spirit. Okay, so here it is. And it says to the Jews first and also to the Gentiles. Not the Gentiles, the Greeks. So right there, Paul is explaining to you, he's not ashamed of this power. Why? Because it's the salvation. It's unto the salvation to everyone that believes. Because everyone don't believe. They don't believe in what Sister Deborah telling you, the power. Because Yah has not revealed it unto them. So I see why so many Hebrew Israelites are going whack and can't see, can't hear, nor can they understand. Now let's go to let's go to 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians. Sister Deborah's not going to hold you long. Matter of fact, she's going to be done pretty soon. 1 Corinthians, but this here stuff needs to be wrote down, you all, so you can understand things that Sister Deborah been saying for the last, I say, 3 years about this power. It is Christ. It was present when he said us. That was his right hand then. Okay. So in 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 24. 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 24. And it reads, but unto them which are called, both Jews and Greeks, both Jews and Greeks. Let's go over that again. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 24. But unto them which are called, both Jews and Greek, Christ, power of Yah. You see how y'all had it wrong all these years? All these years, y'all never knew that Christ was the power of the Father's right hand. I told y'all, that's the part of him that came down with the Son of Man to work the mission of the Father. And the Son of Man kept pleading with us. He kept telling us, these signs that I see is of my Father. This that you see me do is of my Father. We are one in this mission. He never claimed to be the Father. He wanted us to understand all that he had was of his Father, even recognizing the power. Remember, the woman said, can my son sit on the left and the right when you get to heaven? He said, no, that ain't for me. The Son of Man, from the beginning to the end, always informed us that him and his Father were separate. That was us. Flesh wanted to see it our way. And that's sad. And that's how it is today. We don't want to see no way but our way. And we're leading thousands of people our way. You know how many billions, I ain't gonna say billion, yeah, people who don't know what I just showed you all. You don't even understand how you are being blessed to know what you're being taught by Sister Deborah. You know why I know? It's because anytime somebody is feeding me, and I'm sitting here at an age when I've been here, I've been done, I've been here, I've been there, probably been on the Deborah platform 10 years and ain't heard what you've been here. But yeah, it doesn't mean anything. That's when you're in circles. You're on here just going in circles. And pretty soon you're going to be dizzy. Because you're going to lose all that Sister Deborah is teaching. All of it. Why? Because Yah said he sent the word. He is the seeds. Is this word. Some fell on stony ground, Deborah, so you're good. Some fell on rocks. You're good. And some fell on the wayside. You're good, Deborah. Just because you're the one that fell in the soil and you decide to come back and teach those that fell elsewhere, and you can tell already who gets it and who don't. You already know. People don't care who you represent. They don't care that you're the prophet. They don't care who you are and how you teaching that you're revealing. They don't care. Because their actions speak louder than anything. And I just thank the Father for that. Now listen to this. Listen to this. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 24. Look how beautiful this sounds. Listen to this. For until them which are called, both the Jews and the Greeks, Christ, the power of Yah. What is that y'all don't get? Watch this here. And the wisdom of Yah. What's your problem? What's this thing about the Christ? Hamashiach is the Son of Man. Hamashiach, Christ is not the Son of Man. So all these thousands of years, you all had it wrong and still got it wrong today. All Yeshua ever did, and I'm going to teach that tomorrow. I'm going to teach I'm going to at least get me 10 verses where Yeshua was telling us the power was separate from who he was. I'm going to get 10 verses. I might get more tomorrow in a lesson to show you how Yeshua always referred us to the power of our Father. Even when he said, heavens is at hand. That's when he first came. And he kept saying that. Okay? So here it's showing you, make sure you write that down. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 24. There you go again. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 24, telling you Christ is the power. Christ is the one is in Genesis. Write this down. Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. The word us. That's Christ. The world calls it Christ. I call it Hamashiach. I also called it to be the right hand of my Father. Okay? Now, because it is in the beginning. You see? Now, let's go to 1 Corinthians. We're going to stick with chapter 1. Let's go up to verse 18. Let's go up to verse 18. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 18. For the preaching of the cross. For the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishly. Foolishly you shall perish. When you think that the preaching of the cross is to them that perish. Why? Because they are the foolish ones. They're the foolish ones. Why is that? Watch this here. But unto Deborah, unto us, said the apostles. What does he say? Which are saved. It is the power of Yah. The preaching of the cross is the power of Yah. Why? Because my Father's right-hand power seen the whole mission through. It even went down to the grave to sit with the Son of Man for 3 days. Praise the mighty Yah. So let's go. We finna rumble now. We're going to go to Romans chapter 8 and verse 30. Romans chapter 8 and verse 30. Romans chapter 8 and verse 30, and it reads, moreover, whom he has predestined, them he also called. And whom he called, them he also justified. And whom he justified, them he also glorified. All this was in the heavens, y'all. It wasn't done on earth. All of this that was done was in the heavens. What was done, Deborah, in the heavens? Go to Romans chapter 8 and verse 30. So you'll understand why Sister Deborah tell you it's not, do not get caught up in people who trying to treat or get you in a cult setting, okay? To where you can hear them and you believe everything they're saying without reading or having a heart to hear what Yah say in you. You see? Look at verse 30. Moreover, whom he has predestined. Predestined means he predestined before the foundation of the world. He predestined. Them he also called. He called before the foundation of the world. He predestined. He called. And whom he called, him he also justified. And whom he justified, he also glorified. This was all done in the heavens. This was before you was in your mother's womb. This was before the heavens and earth was created. All these things were done already unto thee. That's why he can say it's finished. Because he know heavens had already finished the work. So we as men and women won't claim that we have the authority over his work. Praise the mighty God. I love that because it's like saying if we had to be in charge over heaven and hell and be charged over predestining you and calling you to Yah, you would never make it. But because heaven, my Father, he said, I predestined you, I called you, I justified you, and I glorified you. How you like me now? So you tell those people, you don't tell me what to do. You don't tell me what to feel. You don't tell me what to wear. You don't tell me what to eat. You got out of the power of my Father a long time ago. You can't tell me nothing. I'm living in full understanding, not just who he is, but who his power is. And not only do I know who he is and his power, that's what I'm learning about. How wonderful a job Yeshua did. That I may look at him and decide, oh, that's who we should have followed all the time. Okay? Now, that's beautiful because he's telling you, and he's telling me all over again. I have predestined them. I called you. I justify you. And I glorify you. Now, who gonna tell you anything different than that? Who do they think they are that they gonna tell you anything outside of that? Okay? So let's go to Ephesians. In the book of Ephesians, chapter 1. Ephesians chapter 1. And verse 4. Chapter 1 and verse 4. Let's read. According as he has chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him. I say giving gain. In here it says love. Verse 5. Having predestined us unto adoption of children of Yeshua HaMashiach. Why would you do that, Father? Because Deborah. That's how they got in the Lamb Book of Life. The lamb was, what it said? The lamb was slaughtered before the foundation of the world. So that's how they got in, through the blood that was in heaven. They were adopted back. Okay, listen to this. Ephesians chapter 1, verse 4. According as he has chosen us in him before the foundation of the world. Now, why are we listening to people telling us how to live when the Father then told you and the disciples trying to drill into you all? He chosen you before the foundation of the world. So what the racks behind are these people talking? He knew you then. It's just that you got the time today to know him like he already known you. That's it. It ain't gonna change who he is and what he done and what he gonna do. He's just letting you know that you got an opportunity to still yet get to know who he is and how he rumbled. And stop running behind these people who ain't giving you spirit and truth nor the light. Okay, so here it is. In Ephesians chapter 1 and verse 4, according as he has chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love. Now watch this here. He's telling you. So why is it these men not teaching this? Because they're so busy getting you submissive, under submissive toward their wills and their way, their fleshly wisdom, their fleshly knowledge, and their fleshly understanding and their wicked ways. That's why they're not going to lead you to understand that Yah had already predestined you, sister. Brother, he had already predestined you, brother. Walk in him. Find the light. Pray for to go in the closet and desire that he let you see the light so you can find your way. Oh, they ain't going to teach y'all that. And the sad thing about it, Sister Deborah would come here and teach that thing for 4-5 years. And guess what? Like the Father say, run that thing, sister. Run that race. It don't matter who's on your left and your right. That means it don't matter who believe it or not. It's over. You just giving them the light that rests in you, that was already present in these books. And you just enlightening them because I am in you. And you enlightening them. It ain't like that you're going to light a match to it and it's going to be set on fire to understand it all. It's just that you staying in that race. You giving them what I have given you, and you just enlightening them. Okay? Now watch this here. Now listen to what he says in verse 4. 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 4. According as he has chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy. Now he don't give a rest behind what you down here doing. You holy. You holy. And it's not people who's going down here doing the opposite of what he stands for, but those who's doing the things that he has caused them to do. It represents him and his righteousness. See, a lot of people figure, well, okay, we all are Jacob's. We all in there. No, you ain't in there, baby. You out of there. You're just too stupid to know it. Okay? Now watch this here. Watch this here. And we should be holy and without blame before him in love. You know what he's saying? You holy to me. He said, Deborah, you holy to me. I see you to be blameless, baby. You holy. What is he saying? Heaven see you, Deborah, to be holy and blameless. You can't see yourself to be holy. You can't see yourself to be blameless, but I see you from heaven. Why? Because I predestined you. I chosen you. And what else? Watch this here. Verse 5. Having predestined us until the adoption of the children by Yeshua HaMashiach. The blood and the power. How you like them now? You don't know them, do you? You don't know nothing about that, do you? Let's go over it again. Verse 5, having predestined us until the adoption of the children. So when they run around here talking about, we the children, we the people, we the true Jews. Yeah, you are the true Jews. You're the true children. You're the true people of a nation. But baby, you got to reach this destiny. The children of Yah. You get it? It's not a destiny you call yourself on this earth. Because what you call yourself on this earth is what you are claiming in the flesh. Come go with me in the spirit and see who you are. See who you are then. Since you want to claim that which is in the flesh. Oh, I'm Jew in the flesh. I'm Abraham, Isaac, Jacob in the flesh. I'm Israel and Judah in the flesh. You're doing right. You're a nation in the flesh. You are people in the flesh. But guess what? Jacob was in the flesh. Abraham is in the flesh. But guess what they had more than anything? They are in him also in the spirit. Because they were the seed. You see? That's where they messed up from the floor. They don't know my father. They do not know my father. See, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob was in the flesh. Their flesh went straight to that ground. Where did their spirit go? Their spirit was the seed that went into the soil. How dare you say that you're the seed that goes into the soil and you doing all this sick mess against my father? You're the seeds of the wayside. You're the seeds of the stony ground. You're the seeds of the thorns. Because the seeds of the Father is the seeds like unto Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Bump it back up to verse 4. Jacob, Abraham, Isaac. What did he say? Thou shalt be holy and without blame before me. Why? Heavens ain't gonna hold you, Deborah. Heavens ain't gonna blame you. Heavens don't see no blame in you. Heavens don't see you to be nothing but holy. So you see how you don't have to sit here and deal with all this? I say, I got you a lane to run in. Run in there, sister. Run in that lane. You don't have to run to please nobody. Okay? Now watch this here. In verse 5. Having predestined us until the adoption of the children of Yeshua HaMashiach. We was already in there. Not when we come to the earth. We were there in the heaven. How do you think you got into the Lamb Book of Life? Huh? You think you got in there because what you did on here in the earth? Your works? The way you believe? The way you talk? The way you give to the homeless? You think that's how you got into the Lamb Book of Life? Baby, let me tell y'all something. I taught that thing 3 times what took place before the foundation of the world. And I don't even believe not one guy. Because that is what you call a holy message. Giving that power back to my Father, who orchestrated everything from that level in which he resides. Even though he's low and high and on east and west, south and north, he's all over. But he orchestrated all before it was anything. Okay? So he says here, to himself, according to the good pleasure of his what? His will. Now listen to it right here. Watch this here. Having predestined us until the adoption of children by Yeshua HaMashiach to himself. Not to Yeshua, but to himself. According to his good pleasure of his will. And what's that? His name's sake. Praise the mighty Yah. See, there he go. My name's sake, Deborah. Zoop, went over your head, didn't it? For his name's sake. Now, when we get to 2 Timothy, let's go to 2 Timothy. Second Timothy, all of these are in the first chapter. 2 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 9. Let's see what this is saying. 2 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 9. We're doing good timing. And it reads, who have saved us. This is like past tense. Saved. Hold up. See, the Roman Catholic had a way of smearing this in this book. But guess what? They can't smear away from the Ruach HaKodesh, who gives us and allow us to see behind sin. You see? Now, here it is. It's saying, 2 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 9, who have saved us and called us with an holy calling, not according to our works, but according to his own purpose and grace, which was given us in the power of the Son of Man before the world began. Hallelujah. 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 Let's go over that again. 2 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 9. Who have saved us. Now you notice saved got a D. And called us with a holy calling. Not according to our works. And that's what we need to get out of. We got to stop giving ourselves credit. Stop giving all the glory and the credit to ourselves. Stop uplifting ourselves as if where we at is where we brought ourselves and where we placed ourselves or where we didn't understand and understood ourselves. No, you's a lie from the pit of some hell. Okay? So watch this here. Who have saved us and called us with an holy calling, not according to our works, but according to his own purpose and grace. Purpose for his own purpose and grace. That's going back to what? For his name's sake. Did he do these things? Watch this here. Which was given us in the power of the Son of Man before the world began. So you see all this here about, see Yeshua? Yeshua's over in the corner saying, wait a minute, Deborah, they trying to give me all the power. They trying to give me my Father's right hand. I don't play that. And tomorrow we're going to cover that. We're going to get into verses and show you how Yeshua never claimed that none of it was him. He said we are one. One in the mission. One in the mission. Why? Because the Son of Man had to shed the blood. The Son of Man had to go to the cross. The Son of Man had to live up until that time. That was his mission. But he couldn't do it by himself. So the Father said, I do something different. I'm coming down with all power, with the word and with the Spirit. I'm sending with you. It's going to be my son. It's going to be my only begotten, because I only got one. It's going to be my only right hand coming to help you, Yeshua. And it coming down as the Son of Yah, which means Yah is going to be with you. The Son of Yah, meaning what? Yah with you. What part of that y'all don't get? He's telling this to Yeshua. I'm with you. But you know what? I'm going to show you how sick many people are. Let me show you how sick they are. When I see that and I read that, I can see behind that. Because even though Yeshua comes down being the Son of Man, born of a woman, that means he's flesh. And he came down with the Son of Yah, which is spirit. They become one. But guess what? Sister Deborah can see the glory of my Father in heaven, even though he's given Yeshua all power, the word and his spirit. It didn't move my Father's throne. That's the one I come to know. It's the one that sits high, can sit low, on the left and on the right, west, east, south, and north, on the four corners, in the center, is the one I come to know that rules it all. So just imagine that power. Let's get to that power, y'all. Wait a minute. Wait a minute now, y'all. How is it that when Yeshua would go out off to pray, who are you praying to if you are Yah? Wait a minute, Yeshua, who are you praying to? You went off and got sent me to pray. Who are you praying to? You see? This is to let you know how powerful my Father has always been. He can be low and high at the same time. He can be up and down at the same time. Want me to tell you where else he can be? He can be in the grave for 3 days and get up. That's who I have come to know. Since when? Since when? When was that? Sister Deborah, when did you come to know that? When I was a little girl. This is the fear I had of him as a little girl, because I knew who he was. I remember, I think I was 8 years old when he showed me Satan in a tunnel, and how I was being tormented, because I used to do this here. It felt like something was always in my hand. But when the Father found it, and it did it for years, you guys. Oh, I couldn't stand it. It was like somebody was poking me in my hand. And when he showed me what Satan was doing, I saw Satan for who he was. This old lady told me, she was on a bus, and she said, Deborah, she was like 83. She said, when I saw that devil, every time I get on that bus, I said, when you say you saw him, I said, yeah, you said you saw him, but what did he look like? When that lady told me what he looked like, I said, you saw him. You saw him. You saw him. She saw the same one I saw when I was 8 years old. But the moment the Father revealed to me what he was doing to my hands, he couldn't do it no more. Because Yah had brought me to the light of it. And I was saying to him, after I was delivered, after he revealed and showed me Satan, I asked him why. Why would you let him do me like that? You see? So I say to you, I always was one to commune with him on that type of level. I didn't have to go to these clowns. Yes, I stayed in the church, y'all. Yes, I was there. But guess what? They didn't know who No, they knew who I was. They just try to stay away as far as they can. They try to stay away even when I was young, as far as they could. I know my mother went and told her pastor, my daughter said this and she said that, and that pastor told you better leave your daughter alone. God is dealing with your daughter. You better leave your daughter alone. And I was a teenager. Yes, she did. She sure did. Gonna tell her, both her, a pastor and her assistant pastor, the man and the woman, you better leave your daughter alone. They know who you are. The enemy knows who you are. But you get on this devil platform trying to teach people the light. They want to treat you like you trash, and you are trash and nothing but trash, but get on here and praise and glorify everybody else. I don't want your glory. I don't want your praise. All I want you to do is give all the glory and the praise to my most high Yah. Because that's only one who is entitled to it. He's been with me too long for me to be trying to get some glory and some praise. I better get my tail somewhere and sit down. Talking about some glory and some praise. So, I want to go to Matthew's. This is the last verse. Oh, well, did we finish that one? 9. Did we finish that? Yeah. Let me kind of cover that one more time. 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 9. I want to cover where it says, which was given, which was given us in the power of the Son of Man before the world began. That's sad. It's sad how all these people go past that. It's sad. It is sad because, you think it's just like, say for instance, if I was in college and said we got 200 in a seminar, or we doing a class where it's a professor and he got 200 students and only one person can get it. That's how sad it is. That's where something is wrong when only one can get it. Okay, so let's go to the last verse, last chapter, Matthew 24. We're gonna hit it out the ballpark right now. Honestly, I wanted to stop there, but it's like I got a few more minutes to hit Matthew's 24 to try to bring this on in to what's going on. In Matthew's chapter 24 and verse 14. Okay. And it reads, Matthew 24 and verse 14. For this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world. The reason why I want y'all to hold on to what I'm saying to y'all, all this information Sister Deborah's giving y'all, hold on to it, please, for your sake. Okay? Hold on to it, because listen to this. For it is the power that man has forsaken. And that's why they can't get the name right. Because the name is connected to the power, and the power is connected to the name. You can't know the power without the name. You can't know the name without the power. So you don't know his name. Because you can't quote the name without the power. Let's show you what I'm talking about. Let's go to the last verse we have tonight, and that's Matthew 24 and verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world. Now, you all see it, what it said. Let me tell you what I see in spirit and truth. Okay? For his power shall be preached in all the world. His power. Why? Because that's what everybody's denying. Everybody treats him like a dog with 2 broken legs in the back. So he's going to pull up. Praise the mighty God. He's going to pull up on you. Listen to what he says. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world. Do you think he's talking about the type of preach where you go around teaching somebody? Why are you saying that, Deborah? That's what he said. He said preach, but the other couple of verses, preaching was connected to the power, and the power was connected to the preaching. What did Paul say? I'm not ashamed to preach the gospel, for it is the power of Yah. You see? So in 14, in case y'all don't know this, he's finna cut up from the floor up. How do you know that, Deborah? Because your eyeballs are going to see it. What does it say? Add to the world for a witness. And what is witness? See it. It ain't hear it. It's see it. You're going to see something. Matthew 24 and verse 14. For the gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world. That means his power going to show up and show out in all the world for a witness unto all nations. And then shall the end be. The end come. Praise the mighty Yah. He didn't say here. So when you hear preaching, you thinking it's something you preach and hear. Nah. Okay, Father. Oh, Lord, Father, Yah, you didn't. Woo! Now I have to go somewhere else. But that's okay. I like it because he just taught me something. The Father just taught me something. So here in 14, he's showing you where you see it says in all the world for a witness. A witness. Honestly, it's not going to be taught to you all. It's something you're going to see. You're going to witness something. And then the end. So you're going to see something. All the nations. And you too, Judah. And you too, Israel. You're going to see something. But Judah and Israel are going to be out of there. So I don't know about them. I don't know. To the promised land. I have to read back into that. So it might not be them. But it says, as a witness to all nations, and then shall the end come. So something is going to show up and show out. It's that power. That's what he's talking about. That's what he's talking about. Now, he just said something to me that I'm going to say it to you all, and I'm going to just leave it in your hands and see how you embrace it, because I can pull it up, but my phone has died out. He said to me, I need to read where they say, how can you be sent except there is a preacher? And how can you preach if you have not been called? Thank you, Father Yah. I didn't know how to say it. Wait a minute. You all have heard it when it says, how can you preach how can you teach without a preacher? And how can you preach if you have not been called? I think that's what he was saying. Now he's saying, Deborah, that word preaching and preach, how can you preach if you have not been called? Meaning, who gave you the power? That preaching. Who gave you the power? Without the power, you can't preach. Without the power, you cannot be called. See, that's what he's giving me. I'm gonna look into that. So when he was saying, when I was telling you about what this was saying, preached to all nations, he said that's even with, this is what he's saying to me while I'm talking to you. How can one preach? Wait a minute. How if he has not been sent? So how can you preach if you haven't been given the power? And how can you hear without the power to hear? Ooh, Father, yeah. That's a treat for me tonight. I'm gonna go over that tonight. I'm gonna go over that because that's something to think about. And that's pretty much what it is. We have been missing the whole overall of the Father's word as it is in the biblical. And like I said to you, you cannot precept, line, little here. That's for those who's chasing a tail. You know how a dog chases tail around? That's for them who chases their tails. You see? That's for those who need to precept and line a little here and a little there. And oh, I got to get to Torah. I got to get to Enoch. I got to, baby, when you finish going in circles, guess what? You got to have the Ruach HaKodesh, the true teacher. So I, Sister Deborah, hope that you got something out of this, each and every last one of you all. And I say unto you, I pray that you have a wonderful night. And I will be back. And the topic is going to be the next time I'm on here, because I'm going to do my study tonight, is when Yeshua, regarding Yeshua, and everything he done and how he recognized the Father and always placed it as something that the Father has done. And that's going back to show you and prove to you that a lot of things we are doing today and they did back in the days have denied the power 100. I know that they denied the power because when you go into Genesis 1 and verse 26, that's the power, us. No one knows that. You know it, but they don't know it. So that's power in itself, because you're first recognizing the power before anything was. The power was being spoken to in the form of let. And then when you see us, let us do this, make these men in our image. Why now are you calling it us? Because us is myself, and I am a spirit, and I want us, which is a spirit, to be an image and a likeness of who we are, which is a spirit. So I, Sister Deborah, say unto you, I'm not going to get into it because I know I would pass my time. And I pray that you have a blessed night. And I will be back. Shalom and shalom.